Alright, I hope everyone's having a wonderful day. Today, I just feel like going over again my zombie deck. It is a 60 card deck. It has 22 lands, 13 spells, instant sorceries, enchantments, artifacts, equipments, all that good stuff, and 25 creatures. So let's start and see what lands I have. Like I said, this is 22 lands. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 14 basic swamps. I guess I have a few snow covered swamps in there. I didn't even realize that. Very cool. And I also have a Crypt of Agadim. Very interesting art. It's a little bit shiny with the sleeves on, so sorry if there's a little reflection. Very purple, very interesting, cool cathedral, love it. And Crypt of Agadim enters the battlefield tapped, so you can't add mana right away. And it has tap, add black to your mana pool, 2 tap, add black to your mana pool for each black creature card in your graveyard. So later on in the game, you could end up getting quite a bit of mana if you have a bunch of creatures in your graveyard, black creatures. So it's a very cool land to have, and it's kind of fun. The next land I have is a Mortuary Mire. Beautiful looking, almost bonsai-like tree in a swamp. Lovely sky in the background. Just a land. Enters the battlefield tapped, so you can't use it for mana right away. Does add black to your mana pool, so it's not a color. It's very cool. When Mortuary Mire enters the battlefield, you may put target creature card from your graveyard on top of your library. So pick out a card in your graveyard and put it on top of your library. So it's kind of like a raised deck, except it just goes on top of your library. Very cool, and could be helpful, very helpful in some other times. The next land I have is a Blighted Fen. It looks very interesting, almost like snow crystals around here, like geothermal vents. Thinking like Old Faithful or something. Beautiful rocks floating in the sky. Lovely art. It's a land. It has tap, add generic to your mana pool. 1 generic. It has 4 and a black tap. Sacrifice Blighted Fen. Target opponent sacrifices creature. It's always nice to have this out, I feel, especially in a black deck, because it kind of puts pressure on them, letting them know that you can make them sack a creature if you pay 5 and tap this. So it's cool to have that out there, and I like it. The next land I got is a Bojuka Bog. Very interesting. Lots of mangroves. You can see some poor sap. Looks like he got lost and just took a nap in the water. Well, he's dead. Well, interesting, and a very nice reflection of the water. I like it how it's a little tilted. It is a land. It adds black to your mana pool, not a colorless. Bojuka Bog enters the battlefield tapped. When Bojuka Bog enters the battlefield, exile all cards from target player's graveyard. Very cool. You can either exile your graveyard or your opponent's graveyard. And it's good just in case you're playing against a deck that is relying on their graveyard. Pull this out and just tell them to throw away their whole graveyard. And the next, don't I have 2 of these? Yes, I do. I have 2 spawning pools. Very cool. You can see like the creatures coming out of the pool. Some very old art. Beautiful, beautiful. Rob Alexander, love it. And it is just a land. It does add 1 black mana to your mana pool, so not colorless. Spawning pool enters battlefield tap, so it comes in tap. 1 in a black. Spawning pool becomes a 1/1 black creature with black. Regenerate this creature until end of turn. This creature still counts as a land. And I have 2 of these, so I can put these out. They come in tapped. I can use them as black mana. And if I need be, I can pay 2 and use it as a blocker or an attacker. Or if I want, I can pay 2 and a black and use it as a blocker and regenerate him and save him, or attack and regenerate them and save them. Very cool. So I have 2 of those. Very fun. The next land I got is a Cathedral of War. I think this is just a great land to probably have in any deck, really, if you want to just attack. Cathedral of War enters the battlefield tapped. So it enters tapped and has Exalted. I love Exalted. I do have an Exalted deck. Whenever a creature you control attacks alone, that creature gets +1/+1 until end of turn, and it has 1 generic to mana pool. So you put this out early on in the game, it comes in tapped, you wait but even though it comes in tapped, it still has Exalted, so you can attack with 1 zombie, and say you attack with like a Festering Ghoul or something, it would get +1/+1, and yeah, very cool. And if you had 2 of these lands, it would get +1 from this land and +1 from that land. Exalted is such a cool effect. And the last land I got, I actually pulled this when I was a kid. Beautiful Unholy Grotto. This made me want to make the zombie deck. Beautiful land, very cool sunset, some interesting weapons sticking out of the ground. It is a land. It is from Onslaught. It has tap, add 1 generic to your mana pool, black and tap. just one black and tap, put target zombie card from your graveyard on top of your library. This card is great to have out. Pretty much, you can just take any zombie card for one black and tap this, put it right on top of your library, and boom, back onto the field it goes. Awesome. So those are the lands, the 22, and then now I'm going to get the 13 spells, instant sorceries, whatnot, enchantments, artifacts, and all that. And the first one I have is a Zombify. Very cool picture. Just brought back to life. Love it. Love the cemetery, the green glow. It is 3 and a black. Sorcery, return target creature card from your graveyard to play. Very simple. It's a sorcery, so play it on your turn. But you take a creature card from your graveyard, don't put it in your hand, slap it right into play. Very cool. Love that. Nice to get a card out. And then I'll keep these in little separate piles. I put this one in recently. I don't know if I've even played a game with it yet. Necromantic Selection, 4 and 3 black. It's kind of expensive to play. It's a sorcery, but it's kind of a cool effect. I just want to see how it goes against other decks. Destroy all creatures, so boom, just kill all creatures. Then return a creature card onto the graveyard. Then return a creature card put into a graveyard this way onto the battlefield under your control. It's a black zombie in addition to its other color types. Exile, Necromantic Selection. So you pretty much kill all creatures. If you want, you can regenerate yours. Like if you had a zombie master out, pay a bunch of black for all your zombies and regenerate them, and they would be fine. And then you could take a card that your opponent died, or if it did, and put it under your control as a zombie. And yeah, very cool. So it could save the day, clean the board, and help you win. Very cool and very interesting art. It's like an interesting creature they chose to pull from the grave. The next card I got, I think I have 2 of these. Yep. 2 straight kill cards. Gotta love it. 2 murders. Love it. Beautiful art. Well, I mean, it's drawn very nicely, but it's just clear picture of murder. He's just sitting there and he has a sword all the way through him in the chest, and yeah, it's just one and done. And it's just a 3 cost, 1 and 2 black. Instant destroy target creature. Very simple, very awesome. Can't target planeswalkers, but any creature, boom, just get rid of it unless they have something to counterspell it or something like that. I have a 1 bad moon, 1 and a black. Looks like she's just praising the moon and watching the skeleton armies walk by. Beautiful. Love the picture. Got the 2 moons, a little bit overlapping. Beautiful pink sky. I just love this. It's an enchantment. Black creatures get +1/+1. It's a 1/2. The thing it says, it doesn't say your black creatures, it says black creatures. So if they also have black creatures on the board, they get +1/+1. But since all my cards are black, my creatures, they all get +1/+1. So I'll keep it in here just in case, because if they do have a black deck, it's kind of just evens out a little bit. We both get a little stronger. But if they don't, then I get a big advantage. Very cool. So I have 1 bad moon. Do I only have 1 raised dead? I guess I only have 1 raised dead. Very interesting art. It looks like it's just like morphing out of the ground. 1 black. Sorcery. Return target creature card from your graveyard to your hand. So take a card from your graveyard to your hand. So it's pretty much, this is like a reusable raised dead pretty much. You just pay 1, tap it, put it in your hand. Very cool. And I have 1 raised dead. I have a Profound Command, X and 2 black. Very interesting, like skull with like spirits and some like, I don't know what kind of shape that's called. Very symmetrical, very cool. Choose 2, not 1 but 2. So there's 4 choices, you get to choose 2. Target player loses X life, so if you pay 7 and 2 black, they lose 7 life. Return target creature with converted mana cost X or less from graveyard to the battlefield. So if you paid 7 and 2 black, you could return a creature with a 7 mana cost right onto the battlefield from your graveyard. Very cool. Target creature gets -X until end of turn. Got an indestructible creature on the field. Pay 7 and 2 black. I would get -7, -7, and reduce its toughness to 0, thus killing it. And up to X target creatures gain fear until end of turn. They can't be blocked except by artifact creatures and or black creatures. So you could do quite a bit. Like if you want, you can make them lose life and then gain fear. Maybe finish off the game. Maybe kill a creature and get out a big guy from the field, or just take some life away, get a creature back, and just a lot of choices. I like it. Choose 2. Very cool. The next card I got is a Jet Medallion. Looks like a piece of coal or something in some crazy weird necklace or something. It's just 2 generic artifact, black spells you cast, cost 1 less to cast. So for this one, not that one. So for like this spell, it doesn't reduce the blacks, it reduces the color. So it would be 1 and 2 black. So it would only cost 3 to cost this one instead of 4. So this is pretty fun and nice to get out. And it only works for you, not your opponent. So only your spells cost 1 less to play. Very cool. The next one I got is a Vampiric Embrace. 2 and 2 black. Very interesting art, very crazy looking. I don't even know. And I just have this just to get some zombies with flying. There is that zombie bird, but it makes you, I think, put cards in your graveyard when it comes into the field and dies. And I don't know how I feel about that. I mean, I do have this, but I don't want to like be throwing away a murder or something. Enchanted creature gets +2/+2 and gains flying. So it gets +2/+2 and gains flying. Whenever a creature successfully dealt damage by enchanted creature this turn is put into a graveyard, put a 1/1 counter on enchanted creature. So it also does if you kill a creature with this card while it's on it, you put a 1/1 counter on it and it'll get stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger. Very cool. Just fun. Give it flying. I have 2 Dark Rituals, different art, different set. Ice Age, Mirage. Very cool, just a great card, especially if you get in your first hand. You can really accelerate the game quite a bit. It is just a Dark Ritual, 1 cost. It is a mana source or an interrupt, or as they say now, an instant. And it's just 1 black, and it adds 3 black to your mana pool. Very cool. So it's just mana acceleration, and at its best, awesome. And then the next card I got is a Grave Pack, 1 and 3 black. It's an enchantment. You got these 3 guys looking kind of weird. Looks like they're looking above a pit or a grave or something. Enchantment. Whenever any creature you control is put into a graveyard, each other player sacrifices a creature. This is a doozy. So pretty much if they kill my creature, they gotta kill one of their creatures. Very cool, very cool, very cool. Love Grave Pack. And it's targeting the player, not the creature. So protection from black, I believe, won't save that creature. Very awesome. And the last enchantment I got is a Palace Siege. I think I just put this one into, I'm not quite sure. 3 and 2 black enchantment. As Palace Siege enters the battlefield, could choose cons or dragons. Cons, at the beginning of your upkeep, return target creature card from your graveyard to your hand. So at the beginning of your upkeep, you can keep like putting a zombie from your graveyard to your hand if you want to get it back. Or dragons. At the beginning of your upkeep, each opponent loses 2 life and you gain 2 life. I usually like to pick dragons because but it's also good to have cons in case you have a bunch of good zombies in your graveyard and you don't have any more raised deads, or like they exiled this or you haven't had it yet. So it's very cool. And this in 10 turns, if you just pick dragons and no one deals damage, they just end up losing the game. Yeah, so very cool. Awesome card. And now on to the creatures. The first creature I got is Grey Merchant of Asphodel. 3 and 2 black creature zombie, and it's a 2/4. This guy's a doozy. He's not really I don't really play him for his strength and defense. It's his ability. When Grey Merchant of Asphodel enters the battlefield, each opponent loses X life, where X is your devotion to Belak. You gain life equal to the life lost this way. Each black, the skull symbol, so not the 3s, the skulls, in your mana cost of permanence counts towards your devotion to black. So if I had if I had those 4 cards out, there'd be 1 black, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I would your opponent would lose 5 life and I would gain 5 life. So right off the bat, very cool card. You just throw it out, make them lose some life, and you gain some life. And it's perfect for a black only deck. As the first creature, I got a Vengeful Dead. It is a 3 and a black. Very crazy looking. Got like a mace on his hand. Got in a 3rd arm. Interesting creature zombie. Whenever Vengeful Dead or another zombie is put into a graveyard from play, each opponent loses 1 life. 3 and a 2. So if you have him out and some zombies are dying, or if he dies, they lose a life. So it makes him not want to kill some of your creatures or something, and puts a little pressure on them. Very cool. I got 2 Festering Goblins. Love these guys. Just a 1 cost for a 1/1. He's just walking on his farm. It looks like kind of nasty. Zombie Goblin. When Festering Goblin is put into graveyard from play, target creature gets -1/-1 until end of turn, and he's a 1/1. So if you block like a 2/2, you do 1 damage, and then he go to the graveyard. Then you can give him -1, and boom, kill him. Or if you want, you can also block a -1 creature, like a Scion token, and then use the other -1 to kill another Scion token. Very cool. Love these guys. Great to get firsthand. I got one Gluttonous Zombie. He just looks like a big old zombie. Really huge arms, big old belly. Looks like he's in some strange room. Interesting. 4 and a black creature zombie. It has fear. This creature can't be blocked except by artifact creatures and or black creatures. And it's a 3/3. So I just have this so if they don't have any black or artifact creatures, I can just swing at them. Very cool. This card is pretty cool. The Woe Bearer. Very interesting. Very weird. Almost, it's very smooth, the art drawing. It's not very sharp edges, I feel. But very nice. 4 and a black creature zombie. It's a 2/3 with fear. So this creature can't be blocked except by artifact creatures and or black creatures. And it's a 4 and a 1 for a 2/3, so it's kind of expensive. But whenever Warbeard deals combat damage to a player, you may return target creature card from your graveyard to your hand. So if he has fear, so he could be able to swing through every time, and it would return. And then if he attacks the player, you can return a target creature card from your graveyard to your hand, which is very cool. I think I have two Noxious Ghouls. Love this card. 3 and 2 black creature zombie. It's a 3/3, so it's not that bad. 5 for a 3/3, but this is where it counts. When Noxious Ghoul or another zombie comes into play, all non-zombie creatures get -1/-1 until end of turn. That's cool. So like if I put down a Noxious Ghoul and then I put down like 2 Festering Goblins, every creature that's not a zombie would get -3, -3, and that could be really great. And this is all a zombie deck, so none of my creatures would take the damage, and yeah, it could just really clear the board if you just feel like playing a lot of creatures. Awesome, awesome, awesome. I have 2 of those. The next card I got is a Zombie Clerk. Pontiff of Blight. 4 and 2 black. I believe I just added this in. It's a Zombie Clerk. It has a huge defense, 2/7. It has Extort, and it also has other creatures you control have Extort. Whenever you cast a spell, you may pay white or black. If you do, each opponent loses 1 life, and you gain that much life. So very cool. Whenever you play a spell, you can pay some mana, make them lose life, and make you gain life, and all your other creatures you control have Extort. So you can trigger multiple instances of it. Very cool. So I thought that was a fun card. The next card I got is a Liliana's Reaver. Just a nasty looking claw thing, kind of growth, kind of open up his stomach. It's the Boogeyman. 2 and 2 black creature zombie. It has Death Touch, so if it deals combat damage to a creature that isn't indestructible or something, that creature is dead. 4 and a 3. Whenever Liliana's Reaver deals combat damage to a player, that player discards a card, and you put a 2/2 black zombie token creature onto the battlefield tapped. So a token comes in tapped, and they have to discard a card. So it makes them want to block this, but he has Death Touch, so they might end up losing a creature. But still very fun and puts some pressure out. The next card I got is a Withered Wretch. 2 black, it's just a Zombie Clerk, and it's a 2/2 for a 2/2, so I like it. And it just has 1 remove target card in the graveyard from a game. That's just if I want to get a card out of their graveyard, I can. And yeah, not bad. Just 2/2 for 2/2. Cool. The next card I got is an Breathing Horde. Looks like a bunch of zombies. This guy looks a little skinny. Looks like maybe he's roasting himself. I'm not quite sure. 2 and a black creature zombie. It's a 0/0. Well, it's not a 0/0, otherwise it would come in dead. Unbreathing Horde enters the battlefield with a +1/+1 counter on it for each other zombie you control and each other zombie card in your graveyard. So if you have 6 zombies out in the field and 6 in your graveyard, he becomes a 12/12. Bada boom, bada boom. So very great for zombie deck. And yeah, and I like this. If Unearthing Horde would be dealt damage, prevent that damage and remove a 1/1 counter. So if he was a 12/12 and he was attacked with a 20/20, stop the damage, make him an 11/11, and be on with your day. Beautiful card. Love it. I believe I have 2. I have 2 Gravediggers. Oh, I already had him in the beginning, actually. Where is he? Was he like the first card? Uno momento. Yeah. Oop. I have 2 of these, actually. Sorry. I guess I didn't organize it perfectly, but that's alright. I have 2 Gravediggers, just a great card, 7th edition. I like this art. And he's helping his friend. He's about to grab him out. Gravedigger, 3 and a black. Creature zombie, it's a 2/2. When Gravedigger comes into play, you may return target creature card from your graveyard to your hand. So these are just creature cards that also, if you want, you can take a card from your graveyard and put it right into your hand. Very cool. I have a Soulless one, 3 and a black. Zombie Avatar. Its power is star. So when it comes in, its toughness would be just 1 because he's a zombie. Soulless one's power and toughness are equal to the number of zombies in play, plus the number of all zombie cards in all graveyards. So not just on your side of the field. If your opponent has a zombie deck too, and they have zombies in their graveyard, those also add up to this. So if you're playing versus a zombie deck, this guy gets huge, and it's awesome. Very cool. Very cool indeed. Do I have 2 of these? Nope. I have 1 Severed Legion. It's just a 1 and 2 black, beautiful, crazy hands crawling with knives. And it's just a 2/2 with fear. This creature can't be blocked except by artifact creatures and or black creatures. Beautiful. The next card I got is a Zombie Brute, and he's got the Amplify. I love this card. Love this picture. He's in jail. Somehow he's got a knife, I guess. But, yeah, I guess they let him have it. 6 and black. And it has Amplify, and it's a 5/4, and it has Trample. Amplify 1. As this card comes into play, put a 1/1 counter on it for each zombie card you reveal in your hand. Since this is a zombie deck, if I have like a 7-card hand and I have 4 zombies, and I feel like showing him, I'll show him 4 zombies. He'll become a 9/8 with Trample, and that is big news. Very cool, very cool. Zombie Brute, watch out. The next card I got, I believe, 2 Zombie Masters. Love these cards. 1 and 2 black, just so simple. 2 and a 3. All zombies in play gain Swamp Walk, and black. 1 black regenerates for as long as this card remains in play. I think they updated the text so it makes it that all other zombies get regenerates, because it's a little overpowered if he can regenerate himself, because he's also a zombie. But still, this is such a great card, and I just love it. Just love it. It's a 2/3 for 3, and it gives all other zombies Swamp Walk. So if they have a swamp, you can honestly just swing through them and pretty much win the game almost instantly. Awesome. So we got 2 of those. This is a newest edition and the most expensive card I have ever bought. What? That sounds crazy, but it is. It was $20. Bought it at the shop. Mechas Unhollowed, 3 and 3 black legendary creature Zombie Clerk with a 5/5. Now this guy is a big boy. He's awesome. He has Intimidate, and it has whenever a human deals damage to you, destroy it. So if a human deals damage to me, like direct damage to me, that human's dead. And this is where the money is. Other non-human creatures you control get +1/+1 and have dying. So right off the bat, like if I put him out, he would become a 3/4, and he would also have Undying, which Undying is whenever a creature with Undying dies, if it had no 1/1 counters on it, we return it to the battlefield under its owner's control with a 1/1 counter on it. So when this comes into play, since it is non-human, I'll just do an example on this. He'll become a 3/4 just because he gets +1/+1, and then if he has Undying, so if he dies, he goes into my graveyard. But since this is out, gives all my creatures Undying because he's a non-human, he comes right back out. And since he also gets the +1/+1, he'd become a 3/4 again, and then also he'd become a 4/5 because of the Undying. So this card is just ridiculous because Undying is such a fun effect, and it's perfect for zombie decks. Love this card. Very cool. The next card I got is a Cabal Interrogator, 1 in a black zombie wizard. It is a 1/1 creature for 2. X in a black. Tap, target player reveals X cards from his or her hand. Choose one of them. That player discards a card. Place ability. Anytime you can play sorcery. This card's pretty cool. You can get it out early, and you can honestly just look at their hand as much as you want, see how many cards you want to pick, and get rid of some cards in their hands. Awesome. I definitely saved myself with this guy a few times. Very cool. The next card I got is a Weight of Precinct 6, a 1 and a black. Looks like some crazy blue-eyed zombie coming at you, and doesn't look happy. It is 1 in a black for a 1. Whenever Precinct of 6 weight weight of Precinct 6 gets +1/+1 for each card in your opponent's graveyard. So this card is awesome if it comes in late in the game and they have a lot of creatures in their graveyard. So if they have 4 creatures in your graveyard, he comes in as a 5/5 for 2. That's awesome. Gotta love this card. Gotta love it. And the last 2 cards I got are Gem Palm Polluter. I don't really use this card for its creature. It is a 5 and a black for a 4/3. I mostly use it for its cycling, which is just 2 black. Discard this card from your hand and draw a card. Whenever you cycle Gem Palm Polluter, you may have target player lose 1 life for each zombie in play. So if you have 6 zombies in play and you feel like cycling this, boom, 6 damage to them, and you get to discard this and draw a card. And I have 2 of them. Really, just have these to do some damage. A lot of fun. Well, so that is my zombie deck as up to now. I hope you guys enjoyed watching and are having a wonderful day. Thanks for stopping by, and take it easy.